can't see my screen, but I can make it work.
There we are.
And they were all right. Yeah. All right. I got everybody fixed. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hi, Sean. Hi, Sean. Which way do I got to go? Hi, Bailey.
I can look down. It's like Brady Bunch in here tonight. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to another Real Northern Bass live stream. We are joined by Bailey, who is from the Serious Angler podcast, and most recently just won the Bassmaster Kayak Series event up on Lake Champlain. So,
boys.
How you doing, man?
Good. Another day living. Just telling you guys offline in good old smoky New York, but otherwise everything's fine and dandy. No complaints here.
Nice.
Yeah.
The wildfire smoke all over the greater Northeast has been pretty insane. Although I tell you what, it's made for some really amazing sunrises and sunsets. So, take the good with the bad.
For sure.
The
Canadians at least give us something good to work with here. I say that I love. I got a bunch of Canadian friends, but I got to make fun of them every chance I can.
Yeah, hockey and wildfires,
That's right.
Yeah. So, plan for tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about what went down at Lake Champlain. I know day 2 was canceled because of high winds, and I heard it was pretty rowdy during your practice anyway. I had a friend of mine up there on the Ticonderoga end that ran into quite a few of you guys while he was on Thursday and Friday. Thursday, he was scouting for his own little 2-day club tournament, and they were out Friday, Saturday. And he said he was rowdy, and he saw some kayaks out there getting kind of ragdolled around. He was like, I saluted them. It's like, good luck, gentlemen. They got rowdy.
Good luck, soldier.
Yeah.
Well, Captain Sparrow out there.
Yeah, I can only imagine how gross it is out there in a kayak. Like when you're in a boat, I don't know, it gets gross in a boat.
Standing.
And you're in a little boat that like easily takes on water, and you're sitting down and getting tossed around. Like, no, thank you. Good on you.
Yeah. Our local trail actually in New York last year, our average wind speed for the entire schedule, I think, was over 15 miles per hour. So it was just the New York wind tour. And we got pretty used to being out there and that stuff. So I wasn't too worried. Honestly, the bigger the water, the better, because the farther apart the waves, honestly, it's not that bad in a kayak. But then again, I say that and you're still in a plastic boat, you're screwed either way.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, man. That's crazy. I can't sit for that long.
Yeah, I mean, when it's rocking like that, you're definitely sitting. But the nice part is, like, when it's calm, I stand up majority of the time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sponsored by Adderall.
I don't take Adderall.
No, like you almost need to feel that long. You know what I mean? Serious Angler podcast brought to you by the makers of Adderall. We keep your ass glued to the seat for 8 hours straight.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I am hyper focused on this.
Just throwing that drum for 4 hours straight.
Big blob.
I just stared at the one blob on the screen. Come on, you son of a bitch. Is that performance enhancing drugs in the fishing scene? How do you stare at your screen all day? 3 Ritalin.
All right, back on track, fellas.
So I am positive that everybody that watches us on the regular watches or it listens in on you. But in the event there is somebody here that doesn't know you and everything you do as Serious Angler, why don't you take a few minutes to introduce yourself properly and tell everybody about everything you do on your end.
Yeah. For folks that don't know, I'm Bailey Eigbrett, born and raised Finger Lakes area here in New York, and started the Serious Angler podcast about this month will be 6 years ago, and did that as a means of, I had no time to fish because I was finishing up my master's degree, and I was a Rogan nut at the time. And my buddy was just like, hey, if you can't fish, you might as well go talk fish. So he's like, convinced me to start a podcast, and it was the worst thing ever. Absolutely atrocious audio, video. I mean, my buddy likes to, when he makes fun of me, send me my first episode that's on YouTube still, just to make me cringe and feel uncomfortable. But ever since then, no, it's just been full bore podcast and learning more about bass fishing, just because like the rest of you guys were all ate up with it. And now here we are 5+ years later, full time with it. So
hell yeah, man. That's what I like to hear. And it's funny you bring up where you started, because I look back, like I don't know if you know, I started in gaming in 2009 on YouTube, and for 5 years we had like a very successful channel doing that. I walked away at 52,000 subscribers, and it was doing really, really well, but I got burnt out on it. But then like I look to the start of that and the end of that, and that helped me jumpstart what I was doing with this. But even still, like where I started with fishing on YouTube, I go back and I rewatch some of those like first videos, which I just hit 9 years on YouTube as of yesterday. And it's I understand where you say where it's like kind of cringy when you look back on yourself, but more than anything, I'm proud of how much I've progressed in how I present myself and how I just, I guess, speak to things. And then the amount of effort that we have put into to make the production quality better, which we owe a lot to our subscribers because they funded a lot of that. But, you know, putting the research to understand, you know, what can we do on like a semi-decent budget to make this as professional looking as we can, you know, and just seeing that progress over the years like that's I get all fired up from that.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I look back on it and I'm like, damn, I'm still dumb, but I guess I don't sound like too much of an idiot, you know? So we're a little bit more professional now.
Yep. I hear you. So you're doing this full time now. And I know I said we were going to talk about the Lake Champlain thing first, but you know, as we're kind of talking about specifically you and everything you're doing on your side of things, talk a little bit more about what got you to decide to go full time. Like, I guess out of everything that you do, kind of what's the biggest player, and at what point did you realize like, damn, I can probably start doing this full time and make this work? Because I'm sure a lot of us are curious about that. There was a point where I was chasing that as hard as I could. I don't know that that dream's still alive anymore, but I'm greatly intrigued by to understanding of, oh damn, I could do this, to, oh shit, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I think the oh shit moment was like probably a year and a half ago. And so I've been officially full time with podcasts, doing YouTube stuff, and I still dabble with you know, I run some social media accounts for brands in the fish space. But beyond that, like it's 100% fishing now, but it was about a year and a half ago where things started to grow, and I've had a bunch of people putting a bug in my ear saying like, hey, if you wanted to, like if you put all your time and effort, you could probably take this thing, you know, as your full-time job. And I'd always like kind of thought about it, but I don't know, maybe it was an imposter syndrome or something, but I always thought there's no way in hell I could ever do it. Like nobody cares to listen to me type of deal. And man, it's one where I started it simply just because my passion's always been learning. Like I could never fish a tournament again in my life, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But I'm still gonna go out and fish with the idea of I want to just keep learning more about bass, and that's just kind of what that's been my fuel, if you will. And now it's just kind of turned into, you know, still that goal of learning more about bass fishing, but now I get to do it more with my buddies and have made so many more friends in the industry. Like we got to see each other at ICAST. So it's like, it's kind of blown into a much bigger thing than I realized it could ever do. But, man, it was one where I had, you know, the Sniper Marine guys, really got a big shout out to them because, you know, we had talked for many years. I shouldn't say many years. I should say like 4 or 5 years. But more of like, cause they had their product coming out. They wanted me to test it out because they're getting heavy in the kayak side. And we just had stayed friends and talked all the time. And then, you know, I had kind of put that, in conversation, mentioned I wanted to take it full time. And they called me up one day and said, hey, we need help, you know, with content, social media. We believe in you, what you're doing. And basically just said, what do you need to go full time? And I'm being entirely transparent with it. They were the reason that I was able to make the jump and then put all my time and effort into what we're doing now. So it's just, I owe everything to those, and obviously the other brands that I'm working with and the crew at Serious Angler that puts in the time and the effort. So it was, I always try to slow down a little bit every week and, you know, reflect a little bit of like, who knows, maybe this is my one and done year of full time, but like, I'm just so fortunate for everything that's happened to get me to this point. And we're just going to keep riding the high as long as we can.
Hey man, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. I don't know how long we'll do it, but we're going to bust our ass to see how long we can do it.
Have fun while you're doing it.
That's right. That's right.
So my first question, and I'm I don't want you to think I'm implying whatsoever about asking about money, like figures, because I'm not going to do that. So I don't want you.
How much you make?
Real clear. No, don't want to go down that path.
I want to know numbers.
what I am curious about, so it sounds like you're kind of almost like contract based work a little bit with a lot of these brands, while also doing what everything for yourself at the same time. Is that accurate?
It's a mix, man. It really is. Like it's multiple, various different streams of income, and I'm totally transparent, man. I mean, I don't think the brands would want me coming out here saying what I'm being paid, but I'm not afraid to tell you what I am being paid, at least like personally. And because my deal with my wife was, she was 100% supportive of it, because for her and myself, it was one, if I made this jump, we get a lot more time back. Whereas I was getting up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. to work on editing for my personal YouTube and my own personal content, start my agency job work around 7. And I was doing that till 6 p.m. And then immediately was grab dinner quick, say hi to the wife when she got home from work. And then I was doing podcast stuff till 11 p.m. And my sleep was horrible. My health was going bad because of all of it. And she saw that. So when she heard that I'll get all this time back, that we can now focus back into us too. Like I barely fish weekends unless it's a tournament anymore, which is awesome because less pressure. And also it's just wife time. Absolutely. But, the deal was if I can match my salary for the agency, that I have the green light to leave. And that was, we hit that point in like October, and basically I told her like, hey, everything's guaranteed and contracts leaves for next year. And I'm like, it could be mean I have to go back to work in 27, or 26, but I'm like, at least for next year would be good. And she said, well, you get all your time back. She goes, you might never get the shot again to take it. Right. So she's incredible for supporting me in that, but awesome. It was one of the jumps where it's not like, hey, let's just see if we can make it work. It was, we at least had, I tried to do it smart enough where it was, I had the money at least guaranteed for 1 year. And things have just kind of blown up since then, since being able to put all our time and effort into it. And now we're growing quick and hopefully keep everything going for 2026.
Yeah.
What do you think was like the biggest attributing factor to you being able to do that?
Like to go full time?
Yeah. Like what was a thing that you feel like tipped the scale in your favor to be able to do this full time?
Dude, honestly, I think it was me around 12, 13 years old, realizing all I ever want to do is fish. I think that was it. I think I'd go all the way back to that. That's because that stems from everything, man. Like if I didn't have that, passion for it, or my dad didn't take me out fishing when I was young as hell, like I probably wouldn't be here right now because of that. That's where it started. But, I think it's all a trickle effect for me, where it's looking back on it. It's like, if I didn't start the podcast, honestly, if I wasn't getting out of college during the COVID year and had super supportive parents that said, hey, go fish for a couple months, while you look for a job, this might not have happened because I had a big growth spurt during all of that. It's all these little things that added up into this big picture now, where if my buddy said, hey, you should start a podcast, I might not have started the podcast, so who knows? It's all these contributing different, pillars that just led to me being a full-time goober now.
I like that. So I guess the only other question I would ask is, with a lot of these opportunities you've had and the contracts you got lined up and guaranteed for this year, how much of it was through networking opportunities that you created from other various opportunities to be around people to try and make the networking, you know what I mean? Versus how many, what other percentage was companies just knowing you for everything you do with Serious Angler and approaching you?
There was a couple that just approached me or approached us on social media or what have you. Majority of it is from networking. And that's from the podcast. And honestly, the podcast growing to what it is now, I actually really have to give a lot of credit to my former job, which was at an agency called Gunpowder, and they're out of Wisconsin, and some of their clients are like the Pure Fishings, the Johnson Outdoors, stuff like. And that was what I was working on the day to day for 4 years, and met some incredible people. Like it was a real like pinch me moment when I got to go lead a media event down in the Carolinas, and Hank Parker was going to be one of the guys that we got to be with. And it's like 6-year-old me would slap me in the face right now if I told him that happened. Like, it was, so I'm very, very fortunate to gotten the opportunity to be at that gig, and that led to connections where it's just like I got to say, hey, Hank, do you want to be on a podcast? And having Hank Parker on a podcast was just unbelievable. And that's, I think because of that too, that was another stepping stone to let the podcast go to the next level, and being around that environment of people that I got to learn from helped me improve my content game, helped me improve the podcast game, where if it was just me on my own, I don't know if I'd be here. I'd still be working, which is totally fine. It was a great gig, but I just, the entrepreneurial mind and the drive to take this thing full time obviously overtook that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's funny you bring up Hank Parker. I saw you at ICAST a couple weeks ago, and that was my third year being there. It's for my job. I work for a transducer company. I try not to be too public with it, although it's not like a super secret. You can find out easily online. And it's been great. This year is a little different, where we were there to meet with one of our key customers, but not do anything really crazy. So I had more time for the first time in 3 years to really walk around and see people. I ended over at the Spike It booth to see our buddy Jerry Brusso. And I was talking to him. Hank Parker stopped by, and I was like absolutely starstruck. And I said hi, and I walked away, because I know a lot of those guys. I am totally comfortable going up and like introduce myself and saying hi, but I also know like that's work for them. And while I'm sure that they wouldn't mind if I just wanted to introduce myself, shake a hand, say hi, and be on my way, I also know how valuable their time is. So I don't do that in 99% of the cases. The first year I was there, different story. There was a handful of guys. I was like, I just need to stop. First year we was there, we were at a steakhouse walking out. I was last one out. Like, I was first to the door, last one out, holding the door for everybody. And I see a couple coming up behind me about 15 feet away. I'm like, I'll wait. And last person out in my group is talking to me. So now I'm looking out while I'm holding the door. And then I hear, thanks, man. And I turn around and it's Kevin Van Dam. I was like,
Wow, tall.
And that was like, I had to stop, shake his hand, blah, blah, blah. At any rate, one of my coworkers has been in the outdoor industry for pretty much his whole career, on the marketing side of things. And he's known Hank for a long time. And I told him I saw Hank. He's like, you should have said hi. You would have loved it. And I'm like, no. I let them be. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, but the thing is like, I mean, even through my some like brief interactions with a lot of these guys, they're just regular people, just like us.
Yes,
they're just fish heads, right? So like at the end of the day, like I remember, being on the boat with Greg Hackney, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's fucking Hack Attack, like it's Greg freaking Hackney, and he's like the coolest dude in the world. And he's like, "What's up, man? How are you? We're gonna have some fun today," like just it was. These guys are just regular guys. Like I feel like in other industries, like the big wigs are big wigs, and they don't deal with us pedestrians, but like in the fishing world, these guys are all exactly the same as us, except they get paid to do it. Right. Like that's all it is. Like
they're all like Bailey, and then there's the three of us. They all get paid to do this full time. We're just here.
No, they're like us, but they get paid to do it. So like they're just like Bailey then. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
We bow to Bailey. He is at the higher echelon.
But that's the thing. Thanks for joining us pedestrians tonight, us peasants. Thanks for slumming it with us.
We're like
slumming it. Big word, Andrew.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that you say that though. There's some about the like how your viewpoint changed after a while of like looking at guys like a Hank, where it's interesting. Where I always thought I would be starstruck by a bunch of the guys, but the only two I actually was ever starstruck by was Hank was one, and Polnick was the other one. And I met Polnick at the 19 Gunnersville Classic. I was actually working for Douglas Rods at the time, and Fred Kantawi, one of the Douglas rod designers, it's like, hey, you want to go meet some people? And I didn't know who he meant by meet people. I thought maybe just some other brands and stuff. And he takes me down like the aisles, and I meet like BP was one of the first ones, and I just couldn't barely even get words out because I've always idolized Brandon. And he just took me down a bunch of these pros who they didn't care or want to know who I was, but Fred was just gonna go introduce me to a bunch of them. But but you nailed it. Like these are just normal dudes. Like Kevin Van Dam, we were at the what do they call it, the Thunderbolt Ball or whatever for Red Crest, and I got fortunate enough to talk with Kevin, and all he wanted to talk about was bow hunting. So we talked about bow hunting for like 30 minutes. These are just normal dudes that just want to go out and catch shit and kill shit. Like that's it.
They're our kind of people.
That's right. That's right.
I like that. I just want to go out, catch shit and kill shit.
Yep, pretty much. I was just out tracking the other day.
That's why fishing and hunting are so unique in so many different ways, obviously, than the rest of the sports world. But like the people who are the quote unquote celebrities are so much more approachable. Like you can't just go to an expo and meet all your favorite NHL players and talk with them for however long as you want until they tell you to go away. Can't do it. That's why fishing and the outdoor space is just so cool.
Yeah.
I tried that one time at a Penguins game. I was like I was at a Bruins Penguins game in Boston, and we were up on like the upper level where like all the owners are, and like Lemieux was up top, and he had like security presence. Man. And I tried walking past this old dude who was like one of the ushers or whatever up there. Like I owned the place. Like I knew what I was doing. And he was like, young man, you can't go past her. I was like, I'm good, man. And he's like, no, you got to stop. I tried like hell to go see Mario Lemieux, but it just wasn't in the cards that night.
Yeah. Funny story about Lemieux. I actually played against his kid growing up.
No way.
His kid played for Junior Pens. That's how I became actually a Penguins fan, which is my whole entire family, wife's family.
Whoa. You're a Penguins fan?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, me too. This is awesome. So like,
what are we doing? We got to go down the road. It's October.
Yeah, we grew up. So I grew up playing against Hasek's kid. So, but he's an asshole. Like he won't sign any signature. Like he won't sign anything. He doesn't want to talk to you. He just wants to watch his kid. Like everyone was like, Dominic, sign this. Hey, it's Dominic Hasek. And he just doesn't want anything to do with you. Anyways, I'm a giant Penguins fan, and I'm glad you said that because, like, in 4th grade, I wrote a letter to my hero, and it was Jaromir Jagr.
I was going to say,
I'm sorry that this is so like off topic, but I wrote a letter to my hero. Like, I had Lemieux rookie cards, Lemieux this, Lemieux that, Lemieux watch, Lemieux jersey, Lemieux poster. Like, loved it. I was so like, Jagr. Yo, Jagger's a legend, bro. He's like 50-something years old, slaying hot chicks, playing hockey still scoring goals. Like, the guy's a legend, okay? Anyways, so I write Jagr, and we had to write a letter to our hero. And I just kind of like just sent it, whatever. I'm just going to write a letter. And like months later, I get this letter in a Penguins envelope in the mailbox. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? And it's a Jagr rookie card that's autographed. And a signed letter. It was probably written by the front office or whatever. Like, I don't care. It was signed by Jagr. I got a Jagr rookie card, and I was like, done. I'm hooked. I'm a Penguins fan for life. I love the Penguins. Being from the Rochester, New York area, I still support the Sabres, obviously, because they're like from here. I wish them nothing but the best of luck, but they suck, and I'm back. So, dude, I've always been a Penguins fan. And people are like, why the Penguins? And I was like, I always liked watching Francis, Tugnut, Lemieux, Jagr, like all those guys back in the early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s. I was a little kid, and this was probably before you, Bailey, and like just love these guys. And I just ended up being a huge fan. The second I got that rookie card, I was like, done. Don't need to look for another team. I'm a Penguins fan for life. Yeah. And yeah, man, I'm hooked, dude. That's awesome.
That's sick. I did that growing up in primary school. Was Write Your Hero, and mine was Sid. So
okay,
generation. Yeah.
Listen to you over there.
I was yelling at him at an LA Kings game once in LA. Go get another concussion.
Whatever, man. He's a good hockey player.
So good. He's
a good hockey player. He takes a lot of he takes a lot of shit for, whatever, but
being a legend.
He's good, man.
Yeah, he's
good.
Really good.
He's good, But I just lived hockey as a kid.
Oh yeah.
If we ever wanted to like truly digress into like hockey sports, then I should get my father-in-law in on this. He'd be all over this. It'd be the first time he'd listen to the stream. Love the dude. He's great. He supports me. He has zero interest.
Dude, we just went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. You guys know it's a bad picture. I brought my little kiddo next to the Stanley Cup a couple weeks ago. 4th of July in Canada. It's very American to me.
So I told my boss I was really quitting my job and I was moving to Florida. And
to be a Panthers
literally
fan.
like 5 seconds later, he's like, "You want to go to the Bruins game tonight?"
Yeah.
Sure. It was pretty cool.
Steve's a good dude.
Yeah. He is.
Speaking of the Bruins,
I'm
what did
on
you
your
think? What did you feel, or how did you feel about the new Happy Gilmore movie? Anyone watch it?
I haven't
I
seen it
have.
yet.
I would like to hear Bailey's thoughts first if he has seen it.
I mean, I love Sandler, but it was I give it a thumbs down, honestly. I mean, I loved all of the old movie references and some of the new age stuff, but I think as a movie as a whole,
Storyline was terrible.
Yeah, it was
terrible.
I haven't even seen it yet. Thanks. Now I'm not gonna watch it.
Okay,
It was funny. It was funny. There was some funny moments, but like the storyline sucked. It was not a movie. Someone related it to like if you could watch an hour and a half long TikTok video, then this is the movie for you.
Yeah, dude, TikTok and me don't have a great relationship. He sends me TikTok videos all the time, and I just don't watch them.
I usually save them and just send like an actual video to him, not a link, or else he won't watch it. I usually put in that effort for like bad dad jokes. That's what I save the effort.
He sent me a bad dad joke. He started one, and I said, "Don't even think about it."
No, you said, "Don't you do it." It was what's heavier, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane? A gallon of water, because butane is a lighter fluid.
I heard that the other day. Anyways, Jesus Christ, we have gotten so far off topic here. Go Penguins! Screw all you Bruins fans. Let's go Penguins! That's it. That's all we have to say.
When you go to watch Happy Gilmore 2, remember it's like Super Troopers, right? Like the first movies, both Super Troopers and Happy Gilmore were dumb. They were. Oh, never mind. Hang on, I'll be right back. I gotta help me, Padre. Never mind. Get back on topic.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. The Pittsburgh Penguins being the best hockey team in the Northeast here.
You want to say Bruins? Do you find it odd that Marchand leaves the Bruins and goes to the Panthers and he's finally enjoyable to watch?
Yeah, dude.
Well,
he
listen,
went to the Panthers.
He hasn't licked anyone lately, so we're good.
Yeah.
I almost went to one of their practices, and then I just didn't because I felt bad that he was playing for Florida. But now he's better. It's like,
dude, Florida. I remember as a kid. God, we're not getting back on track here. I remember as a kid, I had a Florida Panthers hat and like starter jacket, like a quarter zip starter pullover jacket, because I thought the Florida Panthers logo was pretty cool. But they've sucked for so long, and then in the last 2 years, they just hit the jackpot, man. They've come alive.
Sabres fans are punching the air.
Dude, Sabres are terrible, bro, because like they literally lost in the Stanley Cup Finals and then traded away all their talent that year. Like after that year. You remember that? I was like Danny Briere and all those guys. They made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, lost, or like the conference championship, lost, and then traded away all their talent and then started to rebuild again. And it's just like typical Buffalo sports, you know, get there, fail, and then just start over.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So fishing.
Anyways,
you can start a sports podcast with you two.
There we go.
Jesus, my brother even came out of retirement to tell me too that my hat's still hanging on the wall in the basement. It probably is though too. Like the Florida Panthers. I gotta bust that out here for another podcast. It'll be my next.
You should. Next week wear that, and we won't talk to you.
It's a Florida Panthers one, not a Penguins one. I have a Penguins one back here somewhere in my wall of hats.
There you go.
But anyways,
right.
Back on topic: fishing, lures, catch fish, water.
That's right.
Wow, we're way off topic.
Go ahead, Sean. Take it away.
So we talked a little bit about like the social media and kind of like, you know, your rise to fame where you are right now. Let's talk about how you like fishing, your favorite techniques, your favorite thing to throw. If you could only throw one thing, what would you throw? What are you picking up first?
One thing.
I want to hear this.
Dude, honestly,
what's your favorite way to catch fish? Like, what do you like?
Probably dirt freaking shallow, quarter-ounce swim jig, and wake that shit in like some reeds and grass. That's probably my favorite way to catch a bass.
That seeing you doing a lot of that stuff lately.
Oh yeah.
I
Try
actually
to-
started throwing the swim jig, like actually started to throw it instead of throwing it every couple of years, like once. Like I'll throw it, like if we're fishing shallow, I'll pick up a swim jig or over a chatterbait now, and I absolutely love it. And I only started doing that maybe no, I was gone for a year. 2
No.
years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, I started picking it up and started catching fish with them. Like, okay, well, I don't know why I haven't done this like my entire life. This is
Yeah.
great.
Swim jig bite's pretty dang fun, especially like I love it early in the spring when they start moving up. Things are starting to heat up a little bit, and you get some of the reeds start growing, but not some of that milfoil, all that shit grass starts growing yet. And
Around
it's
it,
all
so the reeds are just empty. Yeah.
Yeah, and dude, you can just airmail a swim jig into the reeds and just float it, like just wake that thing.
Yeah.
The bites you get are unreal.
Swim jig, spinnerbait, jig, frog.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
This spring, this is still, even with the success we've had since you came back, this is still the worst season I've ever had. It's bad. It's just a historically bad start for me. And I went 3 consecutive trips getting skunked. And I haven't done that in a really long time. So like really goes to show how bad it was for me. I just couldn't get my head out of my ass. Then I go with my buddy DJ. We go up to a spot, which you obviously know what I'm talking about. Sean, you know what I'm talking about. A tournament later this year. And we get up shallow, northern end, exactly as you said, Bailey. And like that bite has been really consistent up there for years. So we go up there and I'm like, yep, I'm going to start with the swim jig because that's just, it's one of my favorite things to do. It always works up here. Let's do it. And it was funny because I was joking around with DJ. I'm like, man, it's been so long since I've had a bite that I'm not even sure that I'm going to know what to do when I get one. I'm going to recognize it.
I don't have to do with my hands.
I like this kid.
First bite was like a solid, like tick / thump. It was a bite, but it wasn't like violent. And I literally paused for a full second. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a bite. And I set the hook, 6 pound, 15 ounce largemouth. I'm like, all right, that's a good damn way to break the skunk.
That'll work.
Second biggest fish we ever caught. Second biggest largemouth I've ever caught.
I miss that. I miss that too. And like I'm not up there right now, so I don't feel bad about saying this, but like early spring, Champlain, if you can find some reeds, like late May, early April, if you can find the reeds growing up, throw a spinnerbait, a swim jig, a frog, a jig in there, like just in like the first couple layers of it. God, I'm telling you, like man, I've had multiple days where like Andrew, you can't fit it, you know, but like, dude, you got to try in order to do it. No, but like it's just magical. Like there's days where you go up there and it just feels like every damn cast you're just catching one, and it's like they're all cookie cutter, like 3s to 5s, like moving up, just eating, aggressive, just like slap it. It's so much fun. It's a great
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool.
A really good point to segue into your tournament up on Champlain that you won, Mr. Big Shot. You had a pretty damn good day. And
it's this way. The trophy's right there. I can't reach through Bailey's window, but there it is.
You just grab that thing.
There's another one.
Front and center. Let's see.
That's a third place one, but the first place one doesn't fit on that one because it hits the ceiling. So I gotta unfortunately keep it as is.
My trophy's too goddamn big.
Jesus, that is some BDE right there. You need to lower the shelf, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Put it on.
It was actually kind of bothering me for a while that I had a cool looking trophy like that and it said third on it. So it was kind of pissing me off.
And it was on the top shelf too.
Yeah, it still makes me mad that it's on top.
It was funny. I was like, there's the trophy. And then you moved and there was another one. Screw you, Bailey.
My bad.
No, but congratulations, dude. That's epic.
Thanks.
Because like before you go into the tournament, it's kind of crazy because, and you had said before, like you knew before the day was over that like it was going to be that one day shootout, right? But like, going into it, what are like, you're going up against like absolute sticks in the kayak world, right? And so like going into this and like being in the position that you were in and knowing what you knew, how crazy was it to be there being like, holy shit, like I may freaking win this thing.
I mean, I get excited on like those bigger stage events. And I think that stems back honestly to the sports days. Like, not to bring up hockey for the comment section. I'm going to say this one thing quick. We'll get off hockey, I promise. But Matthew Tkachuk, I played against him growing up my whole life. And so I always got excited to play guys, those teams like that. Even though we were going to get our asses beat, I like to play against, the best. And so like, I enjoy when I see some of those big names that are up there that I know that it's going to take a lot to win. Doesn't matter where we are. But I felt like it was a little bit more ball in my court just because we're in home turf and I understand how these inland smallies work and I just knew it was going to be a shootout. It was going to be fun. Even if I lost, I'm going to have a fun day. So it's just like at the end of the day, I'm here to, my 1A is content. My 1B is actually the tournament. And I think having that mindset of like, I'm up here, I might as well have fun regardless, kind of helped me just not stress out very much. Cause I don't know. I think every year when I get into tournament fishing, I feel like I stress out less and less. Like, I guess I just seem more level-headed, and I think that's helping me. Maybe it's just time, but
100%.
yeah,
well, decisions on the water too, right? Like, you got to make that decision on Champlain because it's such a diverse fishery. And correct me if I'm wrong, you guys can launch anywhere that there's public access on the lake, and you're uploading your catches, right? So, like, at what point does that decision making come? Or at what point does that decision making turn from like, okay, I'm going to chase largemouth because those, pound for pound, the bigger fish, they're longer than a smallie, technically, like traditionally speaking. Like, at what point did that like play a factor in your mind? Because a lot of guys could have gone for largemouth and caught 5 good largemouth, and you're 20, 22 inches, on a solid largemouth, 21 inches, and for smallie, you're 19, 20, like.
Yeah, I knew even before leaving home that I was going to target smallmouth predominantly, just because your average, say, 4.5 pound smallmouth is going to be longer than a 4.5 pound largemouth, and it's a lot easier to find a 4.5 pound smallmouth than largemouth.
Oh yeah,
like to go find a 21-inch largemouth on Champlain was like that was big bass of the entire event. Was that, and it was like. It's going to be a lot harder to go find 2 of those than it is to go find 5 20-inch smallmouth. And smallmouth, I just knew from the start. I mean, I think besides 2 guys, smallmouth dominated the entire top 10. And that was just one of those deals where I just knew like it's a strategy game is what it is. And it's like I can go spend all this time looking for smallmouth in practice, which the bigger ones seem to be harder to find, an area that doesn't have 50 people there too, and trying to find that needle in a haystack. Whereas largemouth wise, I felt like they're way easier to find on Champlain. There's a lot less area to go cover. Whereas, especially summer wise, love or hate it, these fish go nomadic and you have a lot more water to go cover than if you're going to go up shallow and go largemouth hunting.
oh yeah.
So that was my mindset going into it. And thankfully, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, if I have a couple days of practice, I always find my starting spot in the first morning of my practice. I have this weird thing. And then the rest of my week is like, kind of like, all right, I'm not going there. I like that trend. I hopefully keep that going, but I went and launched and went around, caught some good smallmouth, nothing that was like convincing. And then, went out to the basin of where I was at and just saw bait balls galore on side imaging, put Mega Live down, and it wasn't 10, 15 minutes. I made a cast of one. It was a 21.5 inch smallmouth. It was probably 5.5. I didn't have a scale. I'm just judging based off my eyes. And it was, I'm like, well, that's pretty freaking big smallmouth for here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
Yeah. And next cast, I saw another one on live, and I'm just like, let's just test it and just see. It was a 4.5. I'm like, okay, we're good. And put the poles away and just scanned around for a little while. Just saw get an idea of numbers. Like, it's great there's big ones here, but am I looking at trying to get 7 bites a day in here, or have I found the needle? And I think I found the needle. So because nobody else came that Saturday except for one other angler had come out to my area on tournament day, but. It was a game of just covering ground. I mean, I found some other good areas. Obviously, in Champlain, it's loaded with fish, but that one area just seemed to just be every fish you would run into was a 4-pounder or bigger.
So
You're gonna
on
have to send us that when you're done with this.
on tournament day, on
You would
tournament
be the
day,
first one to
like,
ask.
if you go to a spot that you found in practice, it's just not playing out. Can you trailer up and move to another launch? You can.
Yeah, you can go wherever you want. You can go launch at 8 different spots if you wanted to in a day.
Oh, cool. All right, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is nice, and that is one thing like I've tried really hard to I guess get better at is leaving my area entirely if it's not performing well. And I'm now gotten to the motion where I'm pretty quick to leave if things aren't going the way I want them to. And that's a hard part to do with tournament fishing.
I'm really glad you brought that up, but if you have thought to finish, do so before I dive deeper into that.
No, and this one, thankfully, didn't have to. It was one spot, and then I stayed in a 300-yard stretch for 8 hours. So it was pretty nice.
That's awesome. So our buddy DJ sent me a text the other day, and he was like, here's something to consider, whether you and I just talk about it or you bring it up in the stream, and we can do a deeper dive on that. But what is your methodology for deciding when to leave a spot during a tournament? And this is something Andrew and I have, I wouldn't say ever agonized over, but we are extremely conscious of that, of knowing where we want to be, what we think is going to be it, but then understanding what's our, our B, C, D, E, and F backup spots if A does not pan out the way we think it is.
Yeah,
and
you get there, you catch like 3 or 4 dinks in a row. Like, all right, let's go to B. Next, C. Man,
Right.
we got D. We're going straight to F.
Well, and it's for us, it's a balance of. I mean, a lot of it's water body dependent. How much water you're going to cover, how much time you're going to have, how much time do you really feel you need per spot to give it an adequate chance to get the most out of it, or at least give it a chance for the fish to show up and be like, yeah, we're going to play. What is your rationale with that? Because it to me, it's not just really that cut and dry unless it's a situation like Andrew said. You roll up, yeah, all the fish are still there where we found them in practice. Great, dink, dink, dink. All right, never mind, we're out. So if it doesn't work,
Amazing.
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. Honestly, that I feel like I've gotten really good at trusting like the voices in my head, like my gut that talks to me. I've gotten pretty good at that. I feel like, where even if I don't have a plan B and I get that first, like, and you guys know the back of your head that says, oh, this ain't panning out, when you kind of get that intrinsic feeling. Yep. I've gotten really good at hearing that. And I don't care if I've never been to a spot before. It's the way I look at it is new water is better than this. And so that's just kind of how my brain works. And like, and what I usually do from that point is like, okay, I'll give it 10 casts and then I'm gone, because you guys know as well as I do, you're like, this place sucks, we're about to leave. That's usually when you get bit, is when you say that out loud. And so I usually kind of give it a buffer, when I hear that, and then I leave. And the one thing that sticks in my brain all the time, like I was saying earlier, looked up to Brandon Polnick for so long, is I love studying his brain, like how he works. I think he's one of the best decision makers in all of bass fishing. And that was one of the things he said was like, if you have your gut feeling and it sticks in your brain for longer than 5 seconds, you need to do it. And that is like, that rings in my head all the time when tournament fishing or even fun fishing. It's like, you're going down to an area you want to get to, and you just happen to look over and you see a couple laydowns, and you just kind of get that feeling like, oh, I bet there's one on that laydown. You probably should go fish those laydowns, because good chance you're probably right. And whether they're good or not, there's typically, when you go over there, especially on Champlain, there's going to be a fish on them.
Yeah, truth. It's funny.
The worst is when you make like a long ride, or like at least for us in the boat, right? You make like a long run to a spot that looks good on a map that you've never been through before. And then you get there and you're like, this doesn't look as good as it did on the map. But then like you try to stay there to make it work because you just drove all that way. Yeah.
That's like the balance of a plan B and the risk, right? The risk factor of like making that run. We're like, for you guys, it's 50 miles. For us, it's 5. Where 5 miles is still an hour and a half for me to try to hit someplace. So you have a heavy weight on both of those decisions, right? But it's, I mean, even if that is, you got to be quick to leave in this game. Like you know pretty quick if it's going to go down or not. And if it's not going to go down, then it's like, okay, well then there's no point in me staying here, because all you're doing is just going to beat your head through a wall and be pissed about it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Might as well go do something new and you might learn something.
Like you've been in that situation. Everybody who's been bass fishing forever has been in that situation where you're on a stretch, you think it's going to work, and you're just not catching fish. And then all of a sudden you catch like a 5 or 6. Like,
Mhm.
and then you're in a tournament and at least for me, I think back like, oh, I'm not catching fish, but the next cast could be a giant. So you don't leave. Like,
Yeah. Decoy
like-
bass is what those are.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Dicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were talking about, throwing a minnow at fish and everything. Or is that, well, actually, did you specifically say throwing a minnow at fish? Because
It was it was a mooch minnow on every single fish.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll dive deeper into that next, but I anticipate that's what you were meant for what you were doing.
Yeah.
And I came up with a phrase the other day, Thursday, when I took the day off, went up north. I went to Vermont solo.
Yeah.
And I intentionally went there to try and do some more offshore pinging because I was like, time of the year, conditions, everything. Yeah, this should play finally. And I went out there and I didn't catch anything, but I did find what I thought was a couple of big fish, which once I realized that it was just a cluster of bait fish perfectly stacked on top of each other, like kids in a trench coat. And then all of a sudden you throw them and they spread out. And you're like, son of a bitch, I got swindled again by kids in a trench coat. So I started calling
Careful what you say that.
going around.
What?
When I throw at it, I'm like, goddamn trench coat.
Bro, you got to move, bro. Your neighborhood's whack.
Yeah, I realized I didn't come out right. Now all I can think about is that scene from Family Guy.
You
Bring that
gotta
back
move.
up. When Herbert at the end of the episode when Stewie made all like the robots that are like kids and he throws them out of the mattress and it's just Herbert standing over there looking at me. He's like, this has got to be a setup.
I got a whole freezer full of popsicles. I got your
That
name
one
on
comes
it.
out, like, shit's really starting to piss me off.
Jesus.
I love that show.
Bailey.
So
Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna dive back into tournament and like specifically what you're throwing, but caveat: don't give up any juice. I don't want you to tell us where exactly in the lake you were because
I'm not saying that.
yeah, no, keep that. And if it's a very specific bait, by all means, keep that to yourself too. But I am curious, like picking a minnow, what was your setup and what were you targeting? Were you after a smelt bite or is it an alewife bite or yellow perch or what?
So it was pretty cool. I kind of noticed it a little bit the morning of the tournament as it was progressing. It was more and more. It seemed like you go and do the same, figure 8, if you will, in this basin, and it's just more fish would come in, and it was kind of cool. It started off as kind of rogues earlier in the morning, and as you got later in the day, the bigger and bigger size groups you'd actually run into. But what I found was it had perch schools on bottom and alewives on top. And these fish, you'd watch them just cruise the columns up and down, just kind of like going through a buffet of like, let's go get some perch on bottom. Let's go eat some alewives on top. Let's go back. And that's why they're so freaking stacked and fat, is because of that. And so they had a unbelievable food source. And as long as that perch and alewives didn't leave, those bass weren't going to leave. And so that was, I think, the whole reason why those fish were there. But setup was a Dobbins Champion XP 733 SF. It's a 7.3 medium. Kind of a big fan of the longer rods, to be honest, especially like when I'm catching them way out there. Most of my fish were out 70, 80 feet from the kayak. And I just feel like that allows a little bit more backbone, and especially like setting the hook when they're way out versus a shorter rod. Kind of a little against the grain of what's trendy right now, but if it works for you, it works for you.
Right.
Yeah, and then I was using the Sunline All Might. That's kind of been the big thing for that 18-pound is what I've been rocking lately. That or X-Braid. X-Braid's pretty good because the All Might's got a quick expiration date. And then I'm not afraid to say the bait or anything like that because it's pretty popular already. But it was the Mooch Minnow, and it was on a Cypher jig head because that was the only hook that I could actually pin into the fish because I was throwing the Range Roller and Gamakatsu and a bunch of different heads in practice, and switched big time actually tournament day because I had two 20-inchers that right at the kayak, jumped and spit the bait, and thankfully I caught him in the net. Otherwise, I would have been screwed.
Oh, damn.
But that was all in the range roller and wasn't getting good hookup. Switched to the cipher head, and everything was through the roof of the mouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right in what do we say? The sniz?
The snoot.
The snoot.
The snoot,
Right in the snoot.
Top dead center in the snoot.
That's always the best, right? Like when you catch a big fish and you're just like freaking out, like, oh my God, don't lose this, don't lose this. And you get him to the boat and you're like, this guy wasn't going anywhere.
No,
I had him
cool.
so good. What was I worried about?
Weak.
Weak.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that 610 I caught on the Citizen.
Like
And I
the
was
610 I caught on the depths.
Yeah, and then that one too. I was shaking so much, I was so amped up. You had to get the thing out because I got her like right in the cheek, really good.
At that place near us.
Yeah.
That was sick. Dude, he was catching the fish. It was a giant.
We all
And-
had good weekends.
He's catching the fish and he's freaking out. I'm sitting there with it. I'm like, dude, just chill the out.
I thought I had a 7, and I've only got 1 over 7 for largemouth in my life. So I was like, I thought I had it, and it ended up being a 6.
Yeah, it was a giant. And I was like, trying to calm you down, be like, all right,
Good.
it's a big fish. Just chill out.
Shaking.
Get it to the boat.
Drew Santiago, just to hit on this quick, he said, anyone else having problems with the All Might? Yeah, it's as soon as you start seeing a little bit of fade in that braid, dump it or flip it, one of the two. I've broken off way too many times on that braid, but
Yeah.
it's when it works, it's legit. But that's it.
60% of the time, every time.
Every time. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Brian, I don't think that makes any sense. I'm actually not familiar with the mooch minnow. What size is that?
So they just launched new sizes at ICAST, but I think the one that's been around for 2 years now, I think it's 3.5 inches.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's
little guy.
which is
Which, they were eating it, so I just kept throwing it, and it was just obviously easy for them to just get to the hook. But they were spitting up alewives that were 6-7 inches long, and in practice I could throw that bigger bait at them, and they would eat it, but they'd bump it a lot of times. And so I just, if they were gonna freaking choke on the mooch minnow, I'm gonna throw that every time.
The bigger ones are like a new thing though, right? Like so, like the 3.5s and 4.5s have always been out there. Like if you think of like the baby Z2 or like the baby Z2 and the Z2, right? Like those are kind of like, I don't know. I feel like they've been around for a long time, and now you're starting to get like the 5.5s, the 6.5s, like the bigger ones on like the 2 or 3/0 hooks and stuff like that to hold them. And it's just, it's just something different that's like hasn't been seen a lot. But like, I don't know. I mean, I caught a giant this week on a 3.8 Seduce from Beast Coast. That thing was dope.
Yeah,
But
Sean.
it just seems like the easiest. Sorry, it just seems like the
pick up on your mic is low.
it seems like the easiest one to kind of throw for everyone, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Grat actually asked a really good question. I had in the back of my head. Were you shaking it or reeling it? And because you're more well traveled than the rest of us, do you find one works better than the other in different regions, or pretty much the same regardless?
Yeah. So the nice part about the fish in the north is they're pretty dumb. So that definitely helps.
So are the people.
Basically what I was doing is I could get them shaking it. I could get it reeling if I want to. And it seemed like when I would throw at them, I would shake and then reel fast to get them to really chase. It seemed like that is just, I'd get a more aggressive bite where you could hover it in their head and they come up and follow it for a little bit and they'd bite it. But sometimes you have them skin hooked. And then, but I just noticed when I started making them really chase it is when it's almost like, with sharks, like just their eyes glass over and they just go haywire on it. So it was like I made them chase harder and that made them eat better. And that was just kind of a mix of just a violent shake and reeling it. You'll see it when I post the video, but it's like, that's just what I did. You could get them to bite just about whatever you wanted. It was just what were they going to eat better than the rest?
Yeah,
that makes sense. Going back to an efficiency game.
what kind of knot are you tying?
Loop knot.
nice.
Are you loop knotting them? Really?
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Okay, you may have said it already, and I apologize if you did. I may have just missed it. What weight on the head?
The 3/8. I switched to that so that I could reel it faster.
Yep. Okay, that was my question
Yeah.
because when I first started doing this, I was fishing heavier at 3/8 like you, and I just had some success, had better success just slow rolling like a paddle tail, but the minnow kind of struggled. I go down to a 1/4 ounce, a lot more success, 3/16, 1/8, more and more success.
Yeah.
But I noticed that the last couple of trips out where I had to like when I was burning it, that's when I was really getting them to come up and come and grab it. And I was like, but you know, I just now I don't even have any of the heavier friggin' jig heads anymore. So it's kind of like in between a tight spot there.
Yeah.
Whereas like the heaviest I have is a 1/4 ounce, and I just couldn't burn it fast enough without ripping it right up to the surface. I ended up buying a bunch of
we
3/8.
talked about that with Austin too. So like we had Austin Felix on, and
Yeah.
one of the things that I had learned from him was like different jig head weights or like different weights for different depths, right? So like when you're targeting fish out there and you're in deep water, like you need something that's going to get down to them quickly because they're so quick and they're moving all the time, especially when they're like on that feed bite and just hammering bait. So like how are you using, because I'll like we asked Austin straight up, right? Like obviously you have a different take on it, maybe the same take. How are you changing your weights based on the depth, and like what weight are you using at certain depths?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So with the 3/8, I went to that one based off of, like I was saying earlier, they'd come up high to eat alewives, and it seemed like they were a lot faster to go back down once they'd rise up. They wouldn't spend too much time up high, and so they'd go down to eat perch on bottom. And basically, I needed to time it where when they started coming back up, where I could cast to them, you know, when they were down eating perch. The problem was trying with how fast they're moving, getting it down that far, even with 3/8. You had to time it where once they were making their way up, get the 3/8 ounce to get down there, get a little bit past them, and then burn it over top of them. That was kind of the key. But if I always have 3 rods when it comes to when I'm really like heavily throwing a minnow, especially this time of year in the summer, is what's big for that. Is I got the 3/8. I have a 3/16 or a 1/4 ounce, and then I have an 1/8 ounce. Something if they're super high up, which some of the fish were, where like they might have been out in 60 foot of water, but they're only 5 foot down to the surface where I threw the 1/8 ounce. You know, if they were sticking that high, even a 3/16 is going to fly past them. You have to work it pretty fast to keep it above their head, where the 1/8 ounce on a little bit bigger bait would stay pretty high above them, even if they're only 5 foot from the surface. So it's, you kind of have like a light middle of the road and then a heavier, something that can just based off the fish's personality, what they're doing, to be ready for all those different scenarios. And thankfully all they wanted was a mooch minnow. So I had a mooch minnow on all 3 of them. So I didn't have to play around with that much, but having all 3 of them definitely helps because you have different scenarios you run into, and definitely helps too. Like when you get on a school of 5+ smallmouth that you catch one, all of them chase it, you're going to have a chance at more of them. And so like if your bait gets followed up, they rip it apart, whatever, you know, the time you take to go and redo that bait is you might lose that school. So it's usually, you know, it sucks if you have to put them on the board kayak wise, because then you might risk losing that school. You have to take the time to measure them, take a photo, put them back. But like if you're fishing out of a boat, you catch that one, the rod's all messed up, pick up another rod, and they're already up on the surface anyways because they chased that one fish in. You can double up a bunch of times when they do that and they get in pods. But yeah, he's got to be ready for all different scenarios. But like pretty universally, 3/16 is pretty good, at least in my opinion, on a mix of like if they're not moving too fast and they're 20 foot down, you can get them pretty easy on a 3/16. But if they're not moving like crackheads like summer smallmouth are, I usually like to go as light as I possibly can because it allows you just to keep that bait in the strike zone longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna piggyback on this one here. Grat, did you throw past them or try to hit them on the head?
Singles like rogues by themselves, I'd always try to throw past them. Just seems more natural and less spooked if it drops on their head. If it's a group of them, just get it as close as you can to them because they're going to all piss each other off and the competition makes them eat. So
100%.
You get one of them, one of them's attention, say it's a group of 6 of them, one of them pays attention, starts coming up. The second one looks at him like, hey, what are you looking at? And they see the bait and they're like, oh, I'm not letting you eat that. And so then they all fly up at it. It doesn't really matter. You just got to get it near them. And that's the ideal scenario. And usually the big one's always playing bully dog, and usually you get the bigger one out of the group first. But
That happened to me 2 weeks ago with spy bait.
Yep.
I had like 3 or 4 coming after, and then all of a sudden, boom, I hooked into the much bigger fish than we were catching all day, and then it popped off.
As is tradition with the spy bait.
With the spy bait. Especially with me.
You had me all amped up here, Andrew. You know?
Yeah, I was amped up when I lost that giant from the St. Lawrence with the spy bait.
Yeah.
Blech.
And related, unrelated. I completely agree with you on your approach with if it's a solo or if it's a group of them. There was one really random situation where I ran into last year, and I was finding schools of fish that you could find a solo, 2 or 3, or a cluster, like 8 to 10. And you'd think like the bigger cluster would be like, yeah, that's go time almost every time. For some reason, not that day. If I saw a bigger school, I'd throw into it, and they were all big marks. I'd be like, nope, they were gone. Okay. You see a solo, no matter how you cast that, he's like, nah, I'm not doing that. 2 or 3 was like it, you know, and like they were okay with the one solo. He's like, I'm not dumb enough for that. But the 2 or 3 would be like, I'm not gonna let you get it.
I'm
you,
pretty dumb.
you know, but then the whole group all together, be like, this doesn't look right. You don't want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. You want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. And they all leave. What the hell?
Yeah.
Just one really random day where it was like you had to find just 2 or 3 together. That was the magic number.
Yeah, those days you got to have other things ready to go, you know, whether it's hair or, you know, a spoon, something to give them a different look, especially if they'll chase it and they look aggressive, they're going to eat something. It's just, you might have to change up your approach. Where I haven't thrown a weighted wacky jig head in years, but that has definitely come back out because of forward facing sonar for that reason there.
Dude, and this year in particular, like that finesse stuff has been really, really key for me up here in New England. And I don't know really what's going on. I think I'm kind of starting to understand it. I don't want to say too much because I really do think it's going to help us in the one tournament we have this year. So I'm kind of playing it close to the chest. But a lot of that still comes back to a lot more finesse stuff. Like
that's why I'm bringing on my hair jigs.
Yep. I just do drop shot, especially, and I've been doing some weird stuff with it this year. And I bought some new stuff for this trip Saturday to try out with that further. Carolina rig has come back, which is kind of like a power finesse presentation, in my opinion. Wacky rig has come back out to play, which I try to avoid that when I'm fun fishing, regardless, anyway, because it's just such a stupid do nothing thing. But I mean, that caught what the last.
It works, though,
and that's it works, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's so mind-numbingly boring that unless I am desperate to catch a fish, I just don't want to do it. And I know it's dumb because my PB largemouth came on it, and I know plenty of people catch giants on it. It's just like you throw it out there and I literally sit there and stand there, hold a rod, and watch my line. Nope, there's a tick.
Dude,
we won't even talk about dice then.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, thank you.
I love that.
Sean's on the dice kick, you know. I don't know.
Dude,
listen, there's something to be said, and a lot of companies are coming out with it because there's definitely some reason. There's some weight. Like, but it goes back to like, and I don't want to go down like the rabbit hole of finesse fishing versus power fishing or whatever, but like I feel like these bodies of water are becoming more and more pressured, and you have to switch to that finesse presentation. You have to switch to that something that they haven't seen because, and Bailey, you know, over here, dude, everyone fishes all the time. Like you got dudes who work like weekend jobs and they fish during the week. You got old guys who don't do anything that fish during the week. You have Bailey who doesn't do anything but fish during the week. You've got all these people that are just fishing like constantly. Like over here, like it's incredible. Like it would be the equivalent of me moving back to Vermont and like having a tournament every single day on this body of water that was my favorite to fish. Like that's what it is like over here. And like there's so much pressure that you have to throw something that they haven't seen. You have to throw something in a different, you know, in a different way, in a different place to like, I don't know. That's just what I'm like picking up and noticing in my year and a half back here. You got to be different. You got to try different things. You got to be willing to fail. And a lot of times it's like that finesse stuff because everyone's throwing a minnow. Everyone's throwing like some sort of like paddle tail or jig or something like that. Like it's all exactly the same. And these fish got to get bored of it because I can't even tell you how many hundreds of thousands of baits they see fly by their face. So like you have to notice that over here, Bailey, no?
Yeah, to an extent, but it's definitely picked up. I'll agree. It's picked up over the past couple of years, and I think like obviously the multiple state records happening has definitely been attributed to that. On obviously Cayuga, I mean, there's obviously no secret about that lake anymore. But
It's a terrible
after
lake.
traveling, yeah, terrible lake.
Terrible.
After traveling down to like Chickamauga in Alabama, dude, and to like Lake Fork, I will never, ever, ever, ever complain about boating pressure ever in my entire life. After going to Lake Fork and you have a 600 boat tournament during one of your practice days.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Yeah, on a Wednesday too, of all days. So that was, it's a whole nother world down there. So I usually don't complain about the boat pressure all that much because I know how much worse it could be. Dude, I think, especially with our northern fish, they'll still eat the chalk. I think if anything, they're just getting more savvy to the boat pressure, where I see guys that, you know, come off pad right on top of fish. And it's just like I think there's just people still nowadays that aren't good when it comes to boat positioning and not being so intrusive on fish. Where if it's like my
Fish
main
on top of
practice,
them rather than cast for them.
yeah, I always start
stealthy.
fishing 200 feet up to a certain
Yeah, I was
spot.
gonna say, I like stopping at,
way
like,
off.
Yeah.
coming off plane. I like stopping like at least 100 yards away from them and then troll up to them.
Dude, being less intrusive, I think does. I mean, I'm not discrediting the finesse thing because it does work. I've been having a lot of fun with the dice lately. But like, I think there's some of the small things about that people are still overlooking nowadays, of just not being as obnoxious and intrusive to the fish. Like, you know, like we talk about the all might braid and stuff like that. Just having the gear to make the extra long cast can make the world of difference on getting fish to bite or not. Like, they'll still eat the chalk. It's just they're like, oh, we've seen that shadow above our heads before. You know, they're like, we're not going to touch anything you throw down here now.
I give it a
Until
year
they see
and
the
that
weird
dice
spider
is-
bait come down on their heads, and they're like, yeah, maybe I'll give that a chance.
Give it a year and the dice will be out of play.
Now, especially because
No.
what, 5-6 different companies came out with it.
Oh,
Maybe not a year, maybe 2 years, but just like
They're all
anything else,
sold
it's gonna
out.
get overfished.
It's like the flatworm on Lake Ontario. You go out there and they're like, yeah, we've seen that jazz before.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was fine because like we went out there 2019 and we did the flatworm and did pretty well. And then 2020 still did okay. And then I went back out 2021 and like really flatworm was just not doing it. But it was great because not many had really seen too many Beast Coast jigs. And then really, especially when the open water sniper first came out.
They've also never seen a Ned rig on a drop shot either.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Then you just gave everybody up your secret.
I
up
don't
there.
care. Take it.
You can
Yeah.
wacky rig it, Texas rig it, do whatever you want.
That first year open water sniper was out. Like I know made with Travis Manson smallmouth crush up there specifically, but still I don't know how many people really had picked it up there. And like first year I went up there with that. It was like, yeah, this is fun. Jig rod, 15-pound straight fluoro, jack them up.
And that's all you see in the month of October up there now is just guys throwing that too. And they're not quiet about it. That's for dang sure.
No, I'm actually hoping that's us up there in October or November.
yeah.
Dude, I don't even care if we leave Friday afternoon when you get out of work and we got to be back Sunday night. It would totally be worth it for that drive.
I mean, 7 hours, whatever.
And
I'm
nothing.
2.5. Bailey's 3.5. So let us
We'll
know.
meet you there. Both of you.
Yeah, Bailey, we got
Time
room.
is-
Come on up.
Time is no thing for me, dude. You just say where, when, I'll be. I don't care if it's 24 hours. I'll be there.
We
Bailey,
got plenty of room. Come on up.
we have some choice words for you, Bailey.
Well, because I'll travel far.
No. Just like nothing else to do but fish, you know?
Well, if you're gonna
I have nothing to say. I can't really say anything.
He's like, oh, it got me. No, we should do that though this fall. That'll be fun.
Dude, we've been talking about that for the last 4 or 5 years. That I've really wanted to go up there for a weekend in October or November. Finding a place to stay can be a little challenging. I think there's still some Airbnb options, and then there's always the potential for that wind that time of the year. I've heard can be brutal. So basically having only all day Saturday and half of Sunday to do it could be, gambling, but worth it.
We got some
There's
plan Bs we
spots,
can
though.
talk about offline. We'll be all right.
There's
True.
spots up there where you can hide from the wind pretty easily.
Yeah, true. But
I know a spot.
I know where I want to be.
It was fun, dude. That place is awesome, man. Wind or not, it's especially the lake. Like I made a pit stop on the way home from Champlain. So I saw those low wind. And I'm like, you can't not when you're in Rome, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Right.
all the open guys were, they couldn't go out on the lake, so it wasn't like I was getting in anybody's way. And yeah, sight fishing with dice is so much freaking fun.
Oh yeah. How far can you get that?
Right?
I'm assuming weightless.
Oh, weightless. I played around with it on an 11-pound all might, and I could get it 60, 70 without a wind in my back.
Ooh, I should throw that on the BFS.
Actually, yeah, you should. That actually might get going.
You'll probably throw that thing like 70, 80 feet.
It's tough,
if not
that
more.
thing weightless, man. If you can get it 70 feet, you're a damn champion.
The
There's
BFS,
no
dude,
way.
I can throw a 1/10 ounce freaking hair jig like 100 feet.
Yeah, but I think
If you got wind in your
$50,
back,
I
that's
can
good.
throw this football over those mountains.
I want to see it.
I think the dice is like 1/50th of an ounce.
So I could probably go like 30 feet.
I guess it depends on what dice too you're talking about.
OSP, the max.
Oh yeah, you ain't throwing that 60 or 70. No, not
No.
weightless.
Nope.
Salted
I almost did that
or
one.
unsalted.
Salted, I think is the right one.
Like a
It's
margarita.
up to you guys if you want to start talking brands, but I love the G-Crack one, to be honest.
You know,
G-Crack just makes so much good stuff.
they really do. Speaking of new baits and stuff, I got a whole box of stuff to show you after the stream for
Okay.
Saturday. It's gonna be good. I did see the one from G-Crack though, and I was sorely tempted to get it. But I decided not to.
Mm.
I'm kind of regretting that now. It's not too
Oh,
late. What is it, Wednesday? I could overnight something from Taco Warehouse.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Definitely intrigued to try like the Z-Man one, the Yamamoto one they came out with. Intrigued to try those.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I kind of like the Strike King
are.
one too. I already forgot the name of the thing.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah, it looked good. I was actually at the store the other day. I had to go get at Bass Pro. I had to go get brake pads ordered for my Nitro, and I walked through because I was getting short on Rage Craws, which I love so much this time of the year. So I went and grabbed those and walked right by the Tumbleweed. I was like, "Ooh!" And I actually picked up 2 bags, and I saw a couple of things I wanted. I was like, "Okay, I'll put these down." I have a lot of fuzzy dice in the boat right now. I really do not need the Tumbleweed.
That's funny.
Fuzzy dice is good. That caught me 4.96. I had it in the box like 4 hours, but the New Hampshire Bass Nation state team qualifying tournament last September. And there was they did it out of state first time in a couple of years. They did it up on Champlain, and day 2 got that 4.96. It was tournament lunker for the weekend.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, dumbass me didn't pay into the lunker pool though, so that was $400 lost.
Idiot.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's okay. I didn't want to even think about it. I just want to make a state team, and I did that, and that made me very happy. So that's all I cared about. $400 in my pocket would have been nicer, but whatever.
I'd rather be on the team.
Yeah.
Nah, $400 is sick.
Shut up. Not that's doing any good this year because I get like that team discount to Minn Kota, and I was hoping to get Raptors, and then things did not go as planned company wise where I work. So anyway, that fund money did not materialize in the way that I thought it was gonna. So the whole friggin' discount has been a waste this year.
You got a cool set of wheels though for the trailer.
I did. Oh man, those things are sexy. That was totally worth the $500, no, $600, whatever it was. I paid for those.
Shout out to Brian Visco.
Thanks, buddy.
Bailey, I'm gonna fire off some questions.
Looks so good.
Yeah, do it.
Some questions here. Biggest largie and smallie you caught on Champlain?
Largemouth, it was probably like a 3 1/4. Smallmouth was that one that was probably 5 5.5.
Was that your first time ever going to Champlain?
I've been there like 6 times now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you know it.
When COVID dropped and I got everyone at Douglas like got laid off or whatever it was, and was looking at how terrible the job search was. My dad, again, going back to I have super supportive parents. My dad was like, well, look, this might be the only time in your life where you don't need to go get a job. And he goes, thankfully, like your mom and I both work from home. Like they have remote jobs. He's like, just go fish, go chase, a passion type of deal. And I went and spent him saying that was code for go spend 2 weeks at Lake Champlain and fish every day. So that was got to see a good amount of the lake too in that.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
This was all on a kayak?
On a kayak. Yeah.
Oh boy.
How many different ramps did you hit in that 2-week period?
Oh gosh.
Every single
I
one.
know there's 56 public ramps on that lake. So.
Yeah. Not that many, but I'd say 20, give or take.
Damn.
That's still pretty damn good.
That's a good segue though into this question.
Yeah.
How many miles did you cover at the last tournament?
I don't know in total. One of the practice days though, I mean, this is long for a kayak, all right? So this is not like some people might laugh at it, but it's made a 6-mile run to go check out an area.
I was gonna say, if you did 4 miles, nope. I wouldn't do that.
That's a long way to go.
What's your speed? What's your speed with the trolling motor?
5.2, 5.3 topped out, which is
that's pretty good.
That's actually all it is.
See, it just feels weird when you talk to people like, "Oh yeah, it's 5 miles an hour, baby." She gets
but 5 miles an hour is like you can almost wake surf behind that.
I mean, that's idle speed, but that's still cooking on a kayak.
Yeah. It was so funny, dude. I was sitting at a ramp though. I was overhearing these guys talk about different motors for the kayak, and he's like, "Oh man, I only get like 4.8, whatever." He's like, "What do you get on that?" He goes 6.2, and he goes, "Oh, dude!" And I'm sitting there, we're talking about like a mile per hour difference. I'm like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, that may only be a mile and a half, but that's also 33% faster than his buddies, so it's a pretty big deal.
Tournament blast off, yeah, it makes a big difference. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and go.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to put in the miles though. I've done 20 in a day. It just depends on where you're at, what you're trying to do, and how long you got in the day.
That's crazy.
Wind at your back or wind at your face.
What are you running for the motor and a battery setup in that?
Battery setup, I got a 24 volt, 50 amp, amped outdoors lithium that I run, and it's a Newport NK180 for the motor.
Okay, what do you run for graphs?
I got an Explorer 10 that does all the mapping, side imaging, all that jazz, and then it's a little egregious, but I got an Apex 13 up front that runs my Mega Live too.
Okay, for a kayak and Apex, that's pretty cool.
It's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. I wouldn't have it if there was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the big screen, but it's the smallest unit compatible to record live. And from a content standpoint, having that live overlay is so big in regards to like when people watch to understand what you're doing.
Right.
I was actually just pretty bummed that I was looking at I was downloading all my footage to edit the championship video, and somehow my live recorder here that gets all that footage from the Apex was in photo in that video. So I had to have
no
for tournament day. So
Bummer.
I can show them photos of a big smallmouth out there, but I can't show the live overlay of my bait. But once they have the compatibility for like an Explorer 10 or whatever to do the live recording, I'll probably downsize just because of the amount of comments I get about that Apex up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the setups.
Go bigger, man. Let the comments keep coming. That
Dude,
comment
I've
is
had people reach
fueling.
out.
It's fueling your what is it? The like the activity on your engagement on your post, right? The haters, let them come.
NBT's talked about, hey, let's for one time, let's throw it.
22-inch screen. Let's go.
Good. You absolutely should.
NBT,
I have a 34-inch TCL.
Say what?
Sean, go ahead.
I was just making fun of them. Like I got a 34-inch TCL high def 1080p. It's a UHD screen here on the kayak, man. I'd love to see a big ass screen on the kayak. That'd be cool.
I've installed a few of those NBTs, and dude, that would catch an open water sniper so fast. Like,
get the screen protectors though. They make those things, Andrew. Like
that
for $10, you can protect your investment.
I know how fast a jig can move. Trust me, it hit me in the head once.
But why are you casting it at a screen at your feet?
Hey, one time accident.
he gave me a concussion with a jackhammer once.
Oh man,
bad 3/8 ounce. I did the math because
engineer.
Distance traveled across frames per second. Like distance time equals speed. A little over 100 miles an hour. I had that jackhammer traveling hit him in the head with it.
Oof.
Yeah,
that'll do.
It's on video. You should go check it out sometime.
It was bad. It was real bad. That was about the worst I ever felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're here. You're here. That's all, man.
I laughed about it as soon as it hit me. I was like,
And then, like,
Right.
end of the day, he seemed fine. We're like, okay, like a crisis averted. And then 3 days later, yeah, no, because that happened on a Sunday, like our usually Sunday trip. And he comes over for the live stream. He's like, yeah, dude, I went to the doctor. I have a concussion. I was like, oh my God.
Damn.
Sorry.
Number 13.
It was funny though, the screen size thing. I did as an April Fool's joke. I collaborated on a post with Humminbird. I took it was like a 42 or 45-inch monitor I had in my basement, and I jerry-rigged it on the front of the kayak and then photoshopped Explore 45 or whatever it was, and put like the mega live stream photoshopped. And you should have seen the people that didn't realize it was April Fool's. They lit me up on Facebook comments, and it was really funny watching.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
That
pretty
is
good.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like Ricky Bobby with his fake Newton sticker on the front windshield. I can't see anything, but this Explorer 45 is awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome.
I gotta ask a question here, and I'm sorry for asking. Have you ever thought about going to a boat?
Yeah, I'm actively looking to buy one right now. It's just the kayak's always going to be my thing. I'm never going to leave the kayak space. I just want the boat to make my graphing days a hell of a lot easier. But like the wife she wants to go fishing all the time, take, family, friends fishing. It's kind of hard to do that in a plastic boat. So
Right.
I may have a 2020 Blazer with pretty low hours for sale this fall here. Who knows?
You just let me know, buddy. You just let me know.
It goes fast, too. It's pretty
You
awesome.
can do that. You can, on your practice days, you can take your bass boat out, and then on tournament days, you can.
No. So we can't do that. I just more mean like, even on random days, like if I know I have a tournament, this just goes back to like my initial drive where it's just to learn. Like I genuinely enjoy graphing. I really love that.
Me both.
So like, even if it's not on the schedule for the year, I'll go travel to a lake. Just like, hey, it's a good day. It's calm. Like, let's just go put in the hours looking. Because you never know what you can find, that sort of thing. And it's helped me out big time doing like full days like that. Whereas doing it in the boat would be a lot better. But like our local series here in New York, I think it's 2 weeks. It's like a week or 2 weeks before the event. You can't be
off limits
on that lake in a boat. You can be on the kayak all you want before that event. You can't be in a boat 2 weeks before then.
Is that for the New York KBF?
Yeah. And I think Bassmaster is like a month. Something like
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Dude, and you've been lighting that series up too, by the way. Like, just throwing it out there for everyone.
Before you go down that, on topic with him looking at a boat, there was a comment from Alec earlier that I was giggling to myself about. And it was when we were talking about what kind of money you're making.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of boats, we talking Tracker Savage 215 or Icon? What kind of boat are you shopping for?
Oh, I mean, I definitely want something. I mean, I definitely want something a little bit nicer. Like, I'd like to have something obviously with a warranty, like the general shopper, like when you're shopping for a boat nowadays, like it doesn't need to come with electronics on it, but like something that's not going to be in the shop.
Well, I know
something a little bit newer.
Hook you up with electronics.
Yep.
I know Steve over there. He gave me a ring after the Champlain event.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. I used to work for him.
Yeah. Nice. There you go. So did I.
Nice.
Good people though. Good people.
Oh yeah, super good people over there.
Yeah, brand wise though, I'm just looking for wherever the deal is. To be honest,
Yeah, there may be a deal. I think I have 264 hours on my Blazer right now with the Yamaha show. That's a fun boat.
Heck yeah,
it's a nice boat.
It does all right. Treats me well. Knock on wood, no issues.
Yeah,
we may be
Hopefully
upgrading this next year.
Well, for both of you.
Yeah, definitely would love to get it.
Either way, I think I'm upgrading this next year.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm not.
It's okay, buddy. You can ride with me any day.
Yes, pressing attention all the time.
The best boat's your buddy's boat. That's what they say.
You're right. Best boat is the one your buddy owns.
Yeah,
you ain't wrong. I got a nice boat my buddy owns.
So he moves back from Florida, what, 4 weeks ago now?
Yeah, about.
Yeah. Actually, it's literally been 4 weeks to the day. It's when you got here. So we gone fishing 3 weekends.
I showed up on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was on the live stream.
Yeah.
You crashed the live stream.
DJ and Carrie.
Oh, yeah, I drove straight through.
Dude drove 20 hours straight from Florida.
23
straight
hours.
to my house so he could surprise us on the stream. But at any rate, oh my God, what the hell were we just talking about?
Boats and boats.
Yeah, but
Sorry, that's on this.
oh right, no,
Boats,
sorry.
upgrading.
So first time we get to go fishing together on Sunday, where I know where we went. We're not gonna say that. We're on Champlain. Let's start. We're like, want to go try that spot? Yeah, let's go try that spot. I mean, they sit down in the passenger seat. He's like, I'm driving. I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to be passenger princess. It's been a year since you've been here. What?
That's awesome.
I missed it. I missed it a lot.
Well, we're
Heck
glad
yeah.
you're back.
Thanks. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, and I appreciate you.
There you go. Oh, Sean, you had asked me about this question in the private chat. I'm hesitant to bring it up because I don't know what it is, and I'm nervous that it might not be something appropriate.
Do you want me to ask it? Because I have no shame.
I mean, you go Bailey, private chat in there in StreamYard.
Yeah.
Sean asked a question about.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Does he mean fantasy fishing?
I have
Oh, maybe.
no idea.
Okay, in that case, well, you know what? We're gonna gamble. Mike Bradley.
Yeah, fantasy fishing.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, how'd that come together?
I just
What
texted my
is it?
buddies. Just it's our Tuesday or Monday night fantasy fishing deals we do before an elite event. I just literally just a couple of my buddies in the industry. I just said, hey, do you want to join our fantasy fishing, deal and go live and talk shit? And that's our fantasy fishing squad. So we just go live. Yeah, we just go live. We're all terrible at it. But we made there's a bunch of fantasy fishing preview shows out there. So we went and just made our own rules to be fun and different. You have to pick a rookie in each event. You only get 2 chalk picks, stuff like that. And then it's the winner or whatever at the end of the year gets $100 bait package from each person, and loser has kind of like fantasy football. The loser has a punishment. So we kind of made some fun out of that.
Dude,
Nice.
Sounds like a blast.
I ran into some dude at a coffee shop one time who was talking about his fantasy football punishment, and I'm just going to throw this out there as an idea for you and your friends, because I'm sure you have to have the punishment for the loser. Okay, so
We already have the punishment. It's
well
pretty
for
bad.
next year. For next year, maybe. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So this guy was talking about what a miserable time his buddy was having completing his loser challenge for fantasy football. And it wasn't you got to wear the opposing team's jersey to this game and make a fool of yourself. He had to set up in his neighborhood. Nope. He had to set up in his neighborhood as an adult, no kids around, his own lemonade stand, and raise enough money for the buy-in for the winner for the next year. And he had to do it until he raised enough money by selling lemonade in his neighborhood. And he couldn't have his kids nearby. So imagine a grown-ass man sitting at the end of his driveway selling lemonade to passerbis at 50 cents a glass. 50 cents a glass, right? And so he was I was telling my buddy, you should offer alcoholic drinks for the families. As the parents walk by with their kids, they can get a lemonade for the kid and a vodka lemonade for the parents. And it was no, that's cheating. It's 50 cents a lemonade, and you got to sell lemonade to people passing by. That is a really, really good fantasy football losers challenge.
Awful.
Because the buy-in was $200. Dude, so could you imagine sitting at the end of your driveway as a grown-ass man trying to sell lemonade to adults driving by that have money, and no one wants to buy it
and prove it? Because
Dude,
I would
I
just
don't know.
literally after a couple of months just
There you go.
fork over
I did
$400.
I did it. Yeah, but if I were the other guys, I'd be driving by heckling them too. But that to me is great punishment, right? Because who in their right mind is going to buy lemonade from a grown adult sitting at the end of their driveway when you've got kids in the well, okay, don't go to Andrew's neighborhood. It'll be easy then. Andrew be like, I'll give you $200 for the whole pitcher. No, but I just thought it was a really good one.
That is good. That is good. The loser for ours, because we'll have the last event and then the year recap live stream. The loser in ours has to wear a t-shirt that says Mike Long's innocent.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have some fun over there.
Great.
It's a pretty good one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mike Long is innocent.
Jesus.
We get a little rowdy over there.
That's great.
Oh,
I love it.
That's fantastic. I don't think you can pick anything better than that.
There's a few ideas for future shows.
I can think of something with a name, but I don't want to throw names out there. I just don't want
Yeah.
to do that. The guy's negative
Yeah.
enough as it is. And it's just an easy target. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Somebody brought that up, and I'm like, I'd rather wear that Mike Long shirt for a whole year than wear that shirt for one day. Like,
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That dude does not need any more
No.
publicity whatsoever.
Nope.
Nope, I'm good.
Can't do that. That's just too much negativity. If you want to like talk about something negative every once in a while, yeah, by all means, can't all be sunshine and roses, right? But Jesus Christ, when it's 100% negative,
Oh yeah.
you gotta reassess your life, man.
He's right about everything.
Good Lord.
While wearing a treble hook on your hat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you should have seen a couple years ago as April Fools for the podcast. We did a fake episode about how to properly snag a bass. And you should, the people that just 1 + 1 didn't equal 2, like on that show for some fun. That was pretty good.
That's awesome.
I will admit I have accidentally snagged a bass. It wasn't on purpose. I was bed fishing and it turned and its mouth opened and I set the hook and I got it in the tail somehow. And it was like
I think
5 pounds out of mine's falls.
I think we've all done that though, like unintentionally, right? Like all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, this is a giant, and it's like a 3-pounder that you hooked in the side, and if you're just dragging it sideways, like it happens, they like turn on it.
My rod, so
there you go.
It's just part of fishing. Everyone's gonna do that. It's just more of, are you the person that's gonna still put it in the live well, or are you gonna be, have integrity and put it back?
No.
Are you gonna have a scuba diver under the dock?
You have a dog cage in the water.
Do you remember that? Was it the first or second time we went striper fishing in the winter? And I was throwing the blade bait on my spinning rod, and I hooked into one, and I was fighting like crazy. I'm like, dude, I got a real one. This is a grown one. I somehow foul hooked a 20. It was a 29-inch striper.
It was a keeper.
Yeah, so a 29-inch striper in the dorsal fin with my blade bait. It was like hooking into a Labrador with like like one of those harnesses that goes around their front legs and gives them all power.
On cocaine.
Yeah, dude. I was sitting there, rod was folded. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I got a giant dude. It's gonna be like a 40-pluser. Nope, 29 foul hooked. I don't know how I did it, but here we are.
There we are.
That was a lot of fun though.
Heck yeah.
You ever want to go striper fishing, dude? Come down in the winter.
I'm game.
Across.
Up, over.
Across and up a smidge. Actually, no, because where we would go, that's a straight east drive for him.
Perfect. We'll see you there.
It's only about 6 hours for you, man. It'll be fine.
Connecticut's not that
I'm
far.
in place. I'm in place, boys.
All right, Sean, you're gonna make the drive down because we still owe you a trip for this too. All 4 of us will go out.
He's on the way. He's on the way. I'll scoop him.
There you go.
Perfect.
Let's go, guy. Like
Not
I
kidding
would
you,
strike.
I'll absolutely give you guys a date. We'll go down there.
Let's go.
It's amazing.
We can rip a podcast on the drive too. We got hours to kill.
There you go.
Oh, that'd be sick.
It's an easy drive. It's right across. Like
yes, it is.
It's all
very
throughway.
It's a little
Very
long,
boring. There's a couple turns in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Just a couple. It's pretty straight the whole way. So
2 turns. One to get off
let's
your
go
back road onto the 90, and
onto
then
90.
90 to 95,
Yeah.
and then you're there.
just straight. You can lock the steering wheel and don't have to turn it all.
We'll just jump off at Oneida real fast. We'll pit stop and then we'll keep going.
There's a couple areas where you could make a pit stop.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
See, the 4 of us, we just need Sean Place to come up here with his big old glorious beard and his big friggin' glides, and we'll just
Hey,
go.
man, I'm
wail
working
on
on one. Not on purpose. I forgot my trimmer down in Florida.
Oh my god,
You bum. They do have trimmers up here in New England, Andrew.
Yeah.
my man was unemployed for 4 weeks. He's got to get caught up on payments for everything.
Yeah, for real.
You got a job now, though.
You got to prep for winter again, man. You might as well keep that thing.
That's true.
Oh, winter's gonna suck.
Just build out the squirrel's nest. You'll be good.
Oh, shut up, Andrew.
Not that one. Jesus.
Winter's gonna suck. He moves up here at the end of the summer, like the end of the hottest summer in world history.
Oh,
And he's
man,
like,
dude.
Florida's cold at 70 degrees. Screw you,
It was
Andrew.
freezing, dude. I got up here and it was like 75, 80, and I was like, I might need a hoodie.
Oh
Like-
my god.
Ugh. It was hot down there. The first 2 weeks I was down there, I got hit by 2 hurricanes, and the house almost flooded.
Yeah, you got walled.
We had like 4 feet of water in the street right in front of the house.
Yeah, you were throwing sandbags up and stuff. I remember that.
And swim baits.
It was welcome to Florida.
Yeah. You know what's
Yeah,
funny
for real,
is
dude.
you were down there for a year. I was able to come down at least once, and granted 3 hours away, but you were able to come down and meet me, and it made a great 3 days while we're at it.
Caught
Since-
tarpon.
Yes, which was amazing. Now you're back for a month, and inside that first month, I was already back down in Orlando. And next month, I'll be back down in West Palm Beach for a week.
Have fun. I don't miss I-4.
I know. I get thankfully, the airport is right, like a 3-minute car drive from the airport to the convention center I go to. We're going to an NMEA conference down in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, don't go outside that.
Yeah, no, I don't intend to. This will be the first work trip I'm not booked with customers from sun up to sundown. So I'm kind of looking forward to just go and do the expo thing and go back to my hotel and
Get
sleep.
sushi and then go home.
Okay, now you're talking, man. Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Totally off course.
Sushi, hockey. What's fishing?
No, I don't know.
This ain't no fishing podcast.
It's anything but.
No, this is a Pittsburgh Penguins podcast now.
That's
No,
right.
shut up.
Hey.
That's right.
Let's go.
Well, on that note, no. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I joke. I just said on that note, let's wrap it up. But I don't know. I mean, like, this has been really good. I just realized it's 9:40. I actually still do have a lot of work to do on my PC after this, which I may or may not brick it. That's why we're waiting until after the stream. So if I need to rebuild, which just new hard drive and new copy of Windows will be good to go. I've got a week to do that. I don't know. Anything else? Parting thoughts from either you, Bailey, or you, Sean, or you, Andrew? Yeah,
I
no
don't.
thoughts
I
there.
don't usually think much. So
Now, appreciate the invite, boys. This was fun.
absolutely.
Yeah, no,
dude.
I gotta. Sean gets the credit for putting this together. Man, I love everything that you do, and you and I have talked on Instagram, a number of times and stuff. Seen each other now down at ICAST and everything. I'm
I
just
follow you.
terrible at reaching out to people to put this stuff together. Sean's much more outgoing than I am. So, Sean, thank you very much for putting this together. It was fun, man. Glad you were able to come on and do this with us. I genuinely had a fucking blast. This was fun.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good laughs.
Likewise.
Yeah, it was good.
Likewise.
It was fun.
Oh yeah, boys.
Give 'em one more time before you go. Tell everybody where to follow you on all your social media and everything.
Yeah. Personal stuff. If there's a social media platform that exists, I'm likely on it. I guess part of the gig, but yeah, Bailey Eigbrett on everything. Be the Fish on YouTube. We'll have that Champlain Derb video dropping tomorrow night. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then Serious Angler Podcast on wherever you get your podcast, wherever you listen to this show, you can see ours too.
I forgot to ask you one question about that earlier.
Yeah.
Out of everywhere you have the podcast going, where do you get the most traffic from?
Apple Podcasts.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Apple.
I've had
Oh,
so
like
many.
iPhone.
Yeah.
Jesus, it doesn't fall far from the tree, Andrew. Jesus Christ.
We've had a lot of
Shut
requests
up.
to put this. I mean, I'm way behind even getting
We
this on
miss you,
Spotify.
Andrew.
I miss me too.
Did you miss my dad joke in person?
No,
I sent you another one today. You didn't respond. Jerk.
no shit.
Fine. I understand. All right. Anyway, thank you very much, Bailey. Appreciate it. Andrew, do you think?
We will see you guys next week, as always, at Real Northern. Wait, oh my god, I fucked that up again.
Real
You have a
Northern
good
Bass.
big stretch, man. I'm proud of you.
YouTube.com/@realnorthernbass.com.
Close
Dot
enough.
com.
No.com.
.com.
We'll see you next week, as always, at Wednesday. See ya. Be here. Bye.
Have a
See
good night,
ya.
everybody.